reason this small film calls for such close analysis is because it packs so much into a short period of time. I've been speaking about this for almost 40 minutes, and it's less than 2 minutes long. So there are many limitations to this piece. It's at the mercy of a new technology with limited money and rendering capabilities. It literally stretches the studio to its creative and technical limits. The team has to tell a story in 2 minutes or less. Lasseter has to make the most of his character's physicality, and he has to time his emotional shifts right so that they have the most impact. A lot of those big moments wouldn't work if everything did not hit precisely on its mark. So by learning with these limitations in place, he can use what worked in his feature films. In his future films, both feature-length and short. He kind of, if you study film, you learn that the early films all had these very dramatic limitations, but the directors kind of proved themselves as truly awesome because they worked around them and still made great work, even without the technological benefits we have today. So by working with a completely new medium, Lasseter and his team, and I feel bad even referring to it as his team, Lasseter and the team, mimicked film history. So details like Junior's wiggle never disappear in Pixar's later works. There are always moments superfluous to the plot, yet essential for the personality of the characters, and they put the time and energy into making sure that those happen. So they take extra time and care, but they add to the emotional resonance of the film as a whole. Think of the many small details you think of when you think of Pixar films. Those are Luxo's wiggles. So they give the characters appeal, which, again, to get a little more technical, I'm going to quote Thomas and Johnson again, is, quote, anything that a person likes to see, a quality of charm, pleasing design, simplicity, communication, and magnetism, end quote. So again, these ideas have been around since the early days of animation. So the characters in this piece did not have to be anything more than stock characters to demonstrate the technology. They could have just had Luxo move and it would have been a huge deal. But they wrote a story around it, and they have personality, and they fully enact a traditional and touching relationship. So, using Luxo Jr., therefore, Pixar branded itself with characters like Jr., as well as the willingness to test technical limitations while effectively working within the necessary restrictions, and they also refuse to settle for the lowest common denominator when it comes to story. And since this film was made in response to Catmull's request for a film to define Pixar, every choice made for Luxo Jr. was a choice made for Pixar's legacy. This film carried a lot of weight. It is therefore worth it to identify the elements in the short that can be found in every Pixar movie since. I've tried to point them out as we go, but just to go over it again. One element is the link between the technology and the story present in Luxo Jr.'s origins. There's also the attention to detail, whether it is the precise sound script or Junior's wiggle. These elements go beyond simple requirements for comprehension and give the story personality. Sophisticated technology, meticulous detail, and ambitious storytelling are now the basic requirements for a Pixar film. Luxo Jr. also starts the tradition of heartwarming Pixar shorts. If you were not moved by this film, I'm not sure I want you watching my blog anymore. That's a lie. Watch it. Spread it to your friends. But anyways, thematically, it draws on a parent-child theme that is found in many, if not all, of Pixar movies. It also makes sense with their intended audience because most of them will be parents and children and oddly enthusiastic college students. But Luxo Jr. is not just family entertainment, and this one is the first Pixar piece, like I said, to draw upon the ideas of adventure and exploration. They are universal topics relevant to everybody, and facing risk and learning from failure are two classic storytelling elements that Pixar begins to see as emotionally effective, starting with Luxo Jr. and continuing to things like Toy Story, which, if you know it, the toys Woody and Buzz get lost, panic, and have to learn how to work together in order to return to those they love. And I could go in the first draft of this, I went on to talk about Bug's Life and Toy Story 2 and Incredibles and WALL-E and Up, and just every film has these elements. So, and they all have adventure. In Luxo Jr., Luxo and Junior don't go anywhere, but that doesn't mean they don't have that same sense of adventure or experiencing new things. Otherwise, they wouldn't play with the ball like they do. He is an explorer, and that's his adventure. The joy he gets in this process and his discoveries inspire a joy that never disappears in the Pixar canon. Again, go watch Up and think about Luxo. Up is all about adventure. It's literally adventures out there, and adventure is also in Luxo Jr. So, by exemplifying true heart, a sense of adventure, and devotion to loved ones, Luxo Jr. Is the quintessential Pixar short. Now, I've been talking at you for a while, and that covers basically, well, I'm sure we could get technical and find more things to talk about Luxo Jr. I think that covers most of the important bits. So I'm going to end there for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for coming back for a third video. And especially thank you for sticking with me for 42 minutes and... 43 minutes. I'm a dork, sorry. So next week, I will be back and talking about Red's Dream. Red's Dream is a little interesting. It's not quite as beloved as Luxo Jr. It has a few more flaws, but like when you study auteurs, one of the awesome things is that you can pick out some of the more flawed films to point out what's awesome about the good films. But Red's Dream also has some really interesting learning, like they do a few things in Red's Dream that they don't do in Luxo that will become really important later on. So it's worth hearing about. It's worth studying. Go watch it. There's a creepy clown in it, so maybe don't watch it with your 3-year-old. But he's not supposed to be creepy, so go ahead, watch it with your 3-year-old. Just be prepared for nightmares. But go check it out. It's from 1987, and I will see you next time. And also, please remember, questions, comments, I want to hear from you. So, see you next time. Bye-bye.